What's going on, peeps? This is your boy, Guru's Fired Up, and today I'm bringing you the brand new Conversations with Zeke. Yes, it doesn't really mean anything. I'm not that important, but I'm important to myself. And I truly believe that I have some wisdom to bring to help shed some light, to help us all make better decisions for ourselves. The conversations I'm going to be having with you are intimate conversations about life, intimate conversations about sex, relationships, pretty much everything. So I come to you today with power, with energy, with a lion's heart, because I understand that all of us are on this self journey. We are all put here on earth to experience the body. Yeah, we like to make everything into a spiritual energy perspective. And although that is true in some ways, right, that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, we have to also agree that the earth has gravity. That means that our feet are grounded on earth. And so we must experience earth to the best of our ability, allowing our experiences to make us wiser. So, enough of that. Basically, we're going to dive in to some taboo subjects, and I am going to make you uncomfortable. And the only reason I'm going to make you uncomfortable is not because I'm going to be crass, right? You might hear some cuss words, but I'm just going to be me. This is how I talk to my friends, to people I really care about. I keep it real and I keep it practical. Okay? There's not going to be this isn't about you trusting me or trusting my experiences, but I guarantee you, when you are showing love, when you are doing things to shed light, right? We all get to that light tunnel in a different way, because the truth is actually achieved by various methods. So there are various methods to get to the truth. And the truth is love. When you love someone, when you care about someone, you don't tell them exactly what they want to hear to make their story more valid. You tell them what is, and what is for all of us. So, some of the things I might say might strike a nerve. You might even feel like I'm talking directly to you. But just know that these are just experiences that I've had. And I think that now I'm at the point where those experiences do not define me, but they have allowed me to see things so much clearer. So now I am not shackled to the chains anymore. I am not imprisoned in the cage of my mind. I am free. I am like the wild horse galloping on the savannah. I am that I am. So, with that being said, I want to dive deep, deep today. Just want to let you know that on Amazon, you can actually grab my book. It's very cheap. It's called The Answers Inside of You. It's by Zeke, of course. Grab that book if you are really trying to dive deep. If you really want to know, if you really want to get sparked into your own journey, the book is not a cult book. It's not something you should follow. It is meant to open you up, to open up your consciousness to where you're truly able to see who you are. And of course, I wrote this book in 2009. I actually got it done, I think, in around 2014 or 15. And I didn't promote it much. I actually, had people like clients and stuff like that. Some people read it, some people liked it, but it's not a very popular read because it no longer puts the blame on anyone. It does not allow you to be a victim. And until this pandemic happened, I think that people still were holding on to the coattails of victimhood. They were holding on to the coattails of blaming someone else for their failures, for their misfortunes. But I think we're all seeing that all the choices that we have ever made in our life has now brought us to this point in time for a reason. It's not about blaming the person next to you. It's not about blaming the government. It's not about blaming anyone. This is a time for you to reinvent and recreate yourself with a different mindset, with a different consciousness. So take this beautiful opportunity to look at all the people in the world who are talking about this all the time now. They're talking about how this is not a time to stick your head between your legs. This is a time to look at this race as if we're all starting from the same start point. We are all starting the race. So, when you're just starting the race and everybody is towing the same line, that means we all have an equal part in making the world a better place for ourselves first, so that we're not the weak link in the chain. If you do your part and you mind your business and you really go in and take care of yourself, you will be a strong link to the chain of success. You will be a strong link, not a perfect link. This is not about being perfect. Remember, we're put into these human bodies to make mistakes. We're put into this human body to fall, to fumble. But we were not put into this human body to stay there. We were meant to get up. We were meant to rise like the phoenix. Yeah, we are not all meant to be great in the eyes of the public, but you can be great in the eyes of yourself. You can be great in the eyes of those around you that you pick up and inspire each and every day. You may not be well known, but you are known. You are known because the energy that you bring to each moment, to each day, may not be perfect, but it's always sincere. It is always from the heart. Okay? So, today we're going to get into relationships and what they really mean. Okay? I'm sure a lot of you have heard the word intimacy. And when you break down the word intimacy, it's into me I see. That's right. Intimacy is nothing more than looking into yourself. By looking into the reflection of your own energy. And this energy has so many different parts. When you first meet someone that you are highly attracted to, what we call the one, it is really the closest thing to the energetic signature of who you are in its opposite. And that could be for any preference, any orientation of relationship. So when you do meet this one, or you meet the many, because you know some of y'all are greedy, y'all want it all. So let's just put that out there. We're going to get more into that. But when you are in the vicinity of this type of energy, when you are one-to-one, when you are intimate with this type of energy, you are seeing the vastness of yourself in another person. And not only are you going to see the things that seem so beautiful, so right, so familiar, all that good stuff, right? Remember, all of the familiar, all of that we are so much alike. All of the, man, we have so much fun. We laugh, we smile together, we take pictures together. I've done that. We post on Instagram together. Yeah, I've done that. We shout joyously into the world about how much we love each other. Yeah, I've done that. When you do that, you also have to realize there's a shadow to that. Because with every light, there's an equal dark. I'm going to say it again. With every light, there is an equal dark. Now, the intensity of that darkness is based off of you, of course. Dark doesn't mean bad, right? Sometimes we look at dark or black or whatever as a bad thing, okay? But really, dark and bad means just something we cannot see that is inside of us that we need to see in order to grow, experience life in a more self-loving fashion. And when you decide that you're going to ignore that part of yourself that you need to go deep into to get those answers, guess what the universe will do? It will send you that in the form of another person. So really, a relationship is no more than a very accelerated ride into everything that you are. It will show you your true face in every facet. And most of the time, you will realize after some time with that person that you don't even like what you see. You don't even like the stubbornness. You don't like the lateness. You don't like the coldness. But these are elements of you, not the other person. Because remember, you're reflecting to them also their shadow parts, their good parts, their loving parts. So it is up to us when we get into relationships to no longer blame the other person for not being happy. We can no longer say that they are doing anything to us. We can no longer plead to be the victim, to go and tell everybody how we've been so wronged. All you're going to be telling people is that part of you behaved in that way. Part of you did not want to be there for that person, well, for yourself. Part of you did not want to be faithful to yourself because you're not faithful to yourself, because you don't love yourself. Part of you will say, that person doesn't love me. Why? Because you don't love yourself. So how can someone love you if you don't love yourself? Because you're going to attract exactly what you choose to have a consistent mind frame about. And so we have to be more vigilant about sparking our consciousness, like in my book, The Answers Inside of You. You have to spark your consciousness into knowing that you are everything. That regardless of your past failures, which were not really failures, you were just laying the foundation for bigger steps to step to the next level. So, with that being said, we can get even deeper. We're going to start off with marriage. So with everything I just said, with placing a high importance of your reflection, how important do you think marriage is for your acceleration into knowing? I would say it'd be huge. And for those of you who want to say that marriage is spiritual, think about how you got into that marriage. Think about why you got into that marriage. There is nothing spiritual about making something certified by the government. Yes, you can have a spiritual ceremony and you can feel that spiritual connection, but that's nothing more than just a phenomenon. Being married doesn't make your relationship any more legitimate than someone who just dates and lives together, or someone who just sees each other ever so often. Marriage is nothing more than an institution where now the government has the right to infiltrate your marriage if something goes wrong. You now can lose your property, your earned income. You can lose a part of everything you've ever earned, everything you've ever worked for, to a person who may not have been there when you were working your butt off to get those resources. And that's not the fault of anybody, because at the end of the day, a prenup is also available. There are other bylaws, contracts, and agreements that you can create to protect yourself. But once you are married, everything that is made in that marriage now belongs to both of you. And sometimes things before now belong to both of you. So we're going to eliminate the spiritual aspect just by what I just said, because we know it's more of a governance by the law. Now, if you go out and have a spiritual ceremony with whatever religion you practice, whatever tantric, worshiping practice or ceremony you want to have, that still really doesn't define the marriage. You've just given it another type of spice to say that you and this person are supposed to behave a certain way beyond this moment. So, what is marriage really? I'm going to tell you. Marriage is just something that we do because society tells us that it is of the highest order, that nothing else is more beautiful than a beautiful wedding of two people who have come together, who are going to be together for richer or for poor, for good or not good. The royal family, when they get married, everyone watches it on TV, gets huge ratings. When some of our celebrities get married, same thing. Huge ratings. But marriage really is a ghost of a past time where people only got married because of wealth. Because there was a woman in a village that a man wanted so bad. And because in those times it was taboo to defile a woman before she was married. In order to get them buns, he had to marry her. And in order sometimes for her to make sure that her ancestors, her family, were properly protected, she had to go and make an alliance with another family because of her beauty. Now, I'm not saying that women are just taken for beauty or just taken for sex, but it sure does look like it. If you look back at all the stories, all the movies, the prettier the woman was, the more security she was afforded. So let's take that into the present day now. Beautiful women are celebrated, and not so beautiful women, or women, I might say. And remember, this is just perception, right? However you look at what's attractive is not or not attractive. But we can all say that society, in its majority, sees some women as more beautiful than others. I think it's safe that we can say that. No matter what you think in a moral way or respectful way, we all know what's cut and dry, right? We all know what society favors. So, with that being said, now in this modern time, we are still haunted by the ghost of marriage. Even though we know now, without conditions placed on us by our families, without the conditions placed upon us by society, we know that it doesn't matter if you marry someone or not. You can be with someone on the weekend. You can live in 2 separate houses. You can live in two different ends of the world, only see each other once a year. You don't have to get married to do that. So let's just come back to the fact that marriage, whether you want to believe it or not, is something that we have created to control each other. It's something that we have created in this modern time to be something that is more than what it is. And I understand why people feel more protected in being married. I understand why women will choose to leave the person they're with if that person does not propose to them. I understand sometimes when women actually propose to men. And I just want to say to you men who have been proposed to, and you have said yes, get ready for some abuse. Because when you're in a relationship with a woman, you already got to realize you can get told what to do. Especially if there's a law saying that you will lose half of everything if she decides that this relationship is no longer good for her. And even if you decide the relationship is not good for you, sometimes there's a lot of money or no money on the table to be had. But for those who do have, they would rather go out and have an affair. They would rather renegotiate the marriage and say, hey, if you want to have sometimes on the side, be my guest. Because we've been together long enough now to where I will just turn the other way. Because all that euphoria of romance, all that first love, all that sex in the beginning of the relationship, for some reason, the ceremony of that marriage is the highlight of the marriage. Everything after that is fucking work. Just like you go to the gym. If you skip leg day, you will look horrible. Same thing with your marriage. Your marriage will be horrible if you don't stick your tail between your legs sometimes and shut the hell up and not say a word. But how many of us can do that? How many of us can turn the other cheek every time? Especially when we know the person is projecting all on us. We haven't done anything wrong. Especially when they're suspicious about something because they're doing something. Especially when we're talking about money, right? Because no one ever has enough. Nobody ever has enough things. And now we have Instagram, Facebook, everybody's going these beautiful, luxurious trips. Some of the wealthiest people I know got wealth because they worked at it. And they couldn't go on these exotic trips, for the first 20 years of their marriage sometimes because they were saving money because they had kids. They had to go to college or they had kids that were in private school, right? They didn't just start having all these wonderful vacations. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you have the means to do that, trust me, it's a beautiful thing. But we're talking about the majority of people in this world don't have access to the resources to be able to keep up with what the internet shows us to be a healthy marriage. You have all these shows. The Bachelor, never watched it. But, doesn't take a genius to understand what the show is about. It's about falling in love with the right person. And you got your pick of so many. You have either a guy or girl that's at the center of all this love. And they get to pick everything that they want. They even get to experiment with everything that they want. Right? And that's a beautiful thing. I'm not judging that at all. But you mean to tell me you're going to have all these wonderful, beautiful people being thrown at you and you get to, it's like tapas. You get to taste a little bit of everything and then you want to go be with one person for the rest of your life? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous and y'all all know it. Who the hell wants to sleep with the same person for the rest of their life? And if you do, that's a beautiful freaking thing. But I'm going back to the majority again. The majority of people do not want to be with one person for the rest of their life. And a lot of times, for those of you who do, you've had so many before then that you're like, I'm just tired. I just, one is good now, So that last guy gets, the beat up nana, you know what I mean? Or the, the woman gets the, the overworked penile. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing really sacred about that, to get some leftovers. Would you want to go into the trash can and get your dinner? I'm joking when I say that, but it's funny. You got to admit it. It's funny. And I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody, but I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there for a casual conversation about what is really right, what is really wrong. Nothing. There is nothing good or bad. It's just experiences. So, what I challenge you to do is to really look inside yourself and figure out what you do really want. Besides what your parents taught you, besides what you see on TV, besides what you've been taught in school, besides what your pastor tells you on Sunday. And we know how the pastors and we know how the clergy, the bishops and all them, they're going to get theirs, right? It's just a fact. And I'm not laughing at the victims. What I'm laughing at is that we have put people on a pedestal. We've even put ourselves on a pedestal of being these perfect people in these relationships when all of us really just want to experience life. No one wants to be pinned down. No one wants to feel like they're not free. Even take myself, for example. I've been married twice. My latest marriage that I had this year, 2020, beautiful romance. Quarantine hit. I was like, what the fuck did I just do? I lost my goddamn mind. Yeah, the beautiful euphoria of, having a beautiful woman and you both, are digging each other. and you do something, I'm speaking for myself here, please don't judge me, and you do something as stupid as marry them, for what? And then once the quarantine hits, you say, oh shit, you know, now that we don't have the distractions of being able to go to the movies, go to dinner, be able to go to the gym, work out, all the things that we were doing before, without those distractions, there was really no relationship there. You know, it was a delusion I created in my mind of happiness. So if you stripped everything away that you and your mate or mates, because remember, I said some of y'all are greedy as hell. You know, you got your little burner phones. You know what I'm talking about. So when you strip everything away, could you be with one person or could you be with the many that you have chosen? Because remember, it's not a judgment. Enjoy what you enjoy. But just be truthful to everyone that you're enjoying it with. So they have a ability to make a decision if they want to be in it. Right? But back to what I was saying. If you strip away all the distractions, would you be happy? If you took away the house, the cars, the everything, would you be able to be on an island with someone alone and actually still want to be with that person or people? It's like I said, some of y'all have posses. All right? So, with that said, we have had our first conversations with Zeke. Please, if you want to leave some comments for me, leave them. If they are disrespectful towards me, I will not answer them. You know, I'm not trying to have an ego battle with anyone because I am not judging anybody. I'm only asking the questions so that we can all be sparked into more freedom. Because Hollywood has already shown us ain't nobody faithful in those relationships. And they have all of that written out, talked about even before they get into those relationships. Right? And I'm not saying Hollywood is the, what we should be going after, like Hollywood goals. What I'm saying is that sometimes middle America, those of us who are not celebrities, we get pinned into these conditional thoughts about what relationships are, and we limit our experiences because of how other people may see us. I say, fuck that. Be you. Do what you want to do. If you want to have a posse, have a posse. Be safe. Make sure everybody knows that you're with a posse. Or as I would tell my man Sid, a stable. Right? If you have a stable, of people that you want to have fun with, then have fun with that stable. Right? If you want to be with one person exclusively, be with that one person. But don't judge other people for living their lives of whoever they want to live it with. Don't do that. It's not fair to you because when you start pointing your finger, there's 1,000 fingers being pointed right back at you because you're not perfect. You're not supposed to be. Enjoy this life. Enjoy it. You were put here to experience life. So experience it. If you need to get a hold of me, if you need a session, we can work these things out and help you. Please, DM me. DM me and we'll work them out together. So, this is the first edition of Conversations with your boy Zeke. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I'm never going to judge anybody because we were supposed to run like wild horses with many or with one in any aspect of life, not just relationships. Be you, create, self-reflect. Remember, the answer is inside of you, not anyone else. Remember, you can grab my book, The Answers Inside of You, on Amazon. It will help you. It will. So, with that being said, I love you all. Namaste, my people. I love that word, namaste. I just do. It's not for any, clout of being spiritual. I just like the word. It just has a good feel to it because it makes us equal. We are equal. So, have a blessed one. Namaste. And Conversations with Zeke will be ongoing. I will see you on the next episode. Peace.